When you look at the pictures on the left, you see Siseko, Ayuk Tabe, and others. We have more than 3,000 Ambazonians locked up in the prisons of Cameroon. The shame of Africa is not only because we sat and watched our heroes murdered, it's because we collaborated with those who killed our own warriors, the Thomas Sankaras, the Patrice Lumumbas. And that Nigeria could collaborate with the tyranny of Cameroon to kidnap our own leaders, transport them to Yaoundé, kept them incommunicado for more than a year, tortured them psychologically, brought a lot of pain on their family, put them through a kangaroo trial in the night, sentenced them to life in jail. It's a slap on the face of every living Ambazonian. That is why we have said we must match Cameroon method for method. Fight them in every inch of our homeland, because they don't understand dialogue. They don't understand negotiations, because the weapons they deploy in the occupation of our homeland is that of brute force. In the past years, we put in place a well-refined strategy because we realized occupation was predicated on political governance without your consent. We realized occupation was predicated on economic exploitation. That is why we taught our defense forces to shatter the myth around Cameroon's invincibility, because Cameroon believed it was powerful to subdue us for more than 50 years, and it will be able to subdue us for the next 50 years. We shattered their invincibility when they declared war on us. We took the war to them. We fought them block by block, inch by inch, rooftop by rooftop, backside by backside. We made them to understand this generation is not the generation you can mess up with. That we have studied the occupier and we understand them. And we aren't gonna blink until the last forces of Cameroon are bundled out of our homeland. And we aren't gonna forgive and forget. We aren't gonna forgive and forget. There will be accountability, and we will hold all those murderers and rapists and bring them to justice. And I have made a solemn promise to our people. Even if Mr. Biya dies, we will search for his grave, exhume his body, bring his bones to our court, and try him for murder and genocide against our people. This is not the generation that will forgive and forget. All of our resources that have been stolen, we will search for them and bring them back in our homeland to give our people a fair shot in this world.
Ambazonia Defense Forces, the vanguards of the Ambazonia War of Independence.
Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Good evening, fellow countrymen and women. And hello to you, our brave defense forces. I just finished writing an article on the 7 core strategies of influence and persuasion used by the Trump campaign to win election back into the White House. I'm also reading a book, How Victims Are Manufactured. the manufacturing of victims. Fellow Ambazonians, Mr. Biya is silent, Diongute is silent, the generals of Cameroon military are silent, the Cameroon parliament is silent, the Cameroon Senate is silent. Those who declare war on the Ambazonian people have escaped into hiding. Those who told the world that they will kill every Ambazonian and end the war in 2 weeks have all gone into hiding. They have replaced themselves with paid agents, with traitors that they have bribed, corrupted, bought over. The Cameroon Minister of Communication cannot talk anymore. Okala Bilai cannot speak in public anymore about the conflict. Lele Lafrique cannot speak anymore in public about the conflict. They told you they have won. In the face of international silence, in the face of the lack of international leadership from the international system to hold Cameroon accountable, to hold Cameroon responsible, and to give justice to the Ambazonian people. The Ambazonian people reserve the right, as every people, to do whatever it takes to protect ourselves, to protect our children, our parents, our communities, and our country. We will do whatever it takes, and we will take all actions and use all means necessary to defend ourselves, to protect ourselves, and to end Cameroon's occupation. We hold the key to escalatory dominance. The war was declared on the Ambazonian people in the Ambazonian territory. The war is not being fought in Cameroon. It is being fought in the Ambazonian territory. The war was declared on the Ambazonian people by Cameroon. So whatever we do to end Cameroon's occupation, its impunity, its tyranny, its terrorism, its torture, its killing, its raping of our people, we have the right to do so. And Cameroon bears the blame because of its presence in our territory. The chaos in the Ambazonian territory, it is because of Cameroon's presence and occupation of Ambazonia. It's not because of Ambazonian resistance. We have the right to resist. We have the right to fight. And therefore, we hold the key to escalatory dominance. The territory belongs to us. And whatever we do to end Cameroon's presence, to end Cameroon's occupation, to protect our people, it's our damn business. Whether it's to lock down the territory for 1 year, that's our business. Whether it's to close the borders, that's our business. Whether it's to shut down all highways in Ambazonia, that's our damn business. We must do whatever it takes to boot Cameroon out of the territory. Whether it's to stop food going to Cameroon, that's our damn business. For us, we will do whatever it takes using any and all means necessary. Fellow Ambazonians, just this morning, I finished to write an article for after a week of research for talk about the 7 key strategies with Donald Trump, a campaign team, he put them together for help Mr. Trump for be able to launch one of the most successful campaign for get the American people them, majority of Americans, for buy into Donald Trump, a vision, a message, and a policies, and therefore for Mr. Trump for win the election. Mr. Trump, now the second person for the history of the United States for win an election, be for power for 4 years, and then leave power, and then come back again, can run for another election, and then win that election. Now the second person for America, their history, will ever achieve this kind of level of victory. The first one, it be happen now for 1893. 1893 for Grover Cleveland. That will be the first person for America who will be run in for election, he win election, and then after some years, then he come back, come run again, and then he win his second term. Because for America, if he only run now only 2 terms. So if you run 1 term, and then you run again, they defeat you, run again, they defeat you, if you come back for come fight for your second term. So I don't finish that article. That article it go for my social media page. Secondly, I just start to read this book where they call and say manufacturing of victims. For do this research, for see how the world it craft things like occupation, launch genocide, launch ethnic cleansing, for different ways for manufacture people them as victims. During this war, Cameroon it manufacture victims. It use rape for manufacture victims. It use torture for manufacture victims. It use burning of houses for manufacture victims. It use extortion for manufacture victims. It use forced displacement for manufacture victims. It use extrajudicial killings for manufacture victims. It use imprisonment for manufacture victims. For create Ambazonians then for become victims for this world. The people them where they declare war on the Ambazonian people them, they don't run go hide. Poor Biya don't go hide. Diongute don't go hide. Their Senate, they don't go hide. Their parliament don't go hide. Their generals for their military, police, army and gendarme, all them don't go hide. Lele Lafrique, the colonial governor for the Savannah states, he don't go hide. Okala Belai, the colonial governor for the Atlantic states, they don't go hide. The people where they declare war on the Ambazonian people, and they talk say they go kill all Ambazonians and win the war for 2 weeks. There not be nowhere to be found. All them don't run for go hide. The international community, because of France's influence and because of the influence of the international system, where they benefit from Cameroon occupation, they benefit from the cheap resources where Cameroon don't take and be auctioned for them. They don't remain silent. In the absence of international leadership, in the absence for the world for provide a leadership and for hold Cameroon accountable, for hold Cameroon responsible for this war where Mr. Biya declared on the Ambazonian people, for the crimes where Cameroon don't commit for Ambazonia, for the 1,200 villages where Cameroon military don't burn for Ambazonia, the 30-something thousand Ambazonians where Cameroon don't kill them, they now more than 7,000 Ambazonians where they suffer for Cameroon concentration camps. The more than 750,000 Ambazonians where they don't get place for stay. With one they don't run for even go hide for La Republique and for scatter all throughout Central and West Africa, and the one where they don't even succeed for worker for rich place like America and for Canada. In the absence of accountability, responsibility, and for bring justice, the Ambazonian people, they hold the key for 10 things upside down against Cameroon. Because the war where Cameroon declared, it declared for the Ambazonian territory. We defy the war now inside our territory. So we go use any means and every means necessary for end Cameroon a presence for our territory. That means say, if we calculate them, say for lock down the Ambazonia territory for 2 months, for 3 months, for 4 months, for 5 months, for lock down the territory, while our people they will be able for chop, they will be able for live. If it would take now 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months for lock the territory for we for gain independence, the Ambazonian people they get the right for take that action. If it means say now for lock down the borders as an act of economic sabotage, as an act for protect the Ambazonian people, as an act for destroying Cameroon economy. Whether not for lock down that border for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, for 1 month, for 6 months, for 1 year, if not the thing that we go take for give Ambazonian freedom, the Ambazonian people they get the right for take that action, for implement that action, for execute that action. If it means now for turn the territory upside down against Cameroon, for Ambazonia for become free, for Ambazonia for boot Cameroon, for push Cameroon, for exit Cameroon out of our territory, we go do it. If it requires say, now for stop food, for stop chop, me not come out Ambazonia and enter Cameroon in order for cause economic crisis, food scarcity, and cause economic hardship for Cameroon, for impose economic sanction on Cameroon. If not the thing that way go require Ambazonians and Ambazonia for be free, the Ambazonian people Not only we, the Ambazonian people, we reserve the right for take that action. So anything where we, the Ambazonian people, we choose for doing, for escalate this conflict as a way for punish Cameroon and for bring the international, for bring pressure, for bear among the international community until they act, until they call for a negotiation. We get the right for ignite this conflict for level where Cameroon never seen before. We get the right for turn this conflict upside down. We get the right for implement 1, 2, 3, 4 different strategies all at once for put maximum pressure on the occupying state until it collapse. If not the thing that we will need for doing for gain independence, we must do them for gain independence. If not the thing that we need for doing for end Cameroon's occupation of Ambazonia, for end Cameroon's impunity on the Ambazonian people, for end these massacres, this genocide, this ethnic cleansing, for end this manufacturing of victims, for end this scorched earth policy, for end these burnings of homes, for end this raping of our people, for end this destruction of our businesses. Whatever we need for doing, we go do anything and we go do everything for liberate Ambazonia, for free Ambazonia, for free the Ambazonian people them. So now we hold the key to how this conflict go and to how this conflict end. Now the Ambazonian people, they hold the key to how this conflict go and to how this conflict go end. Now we hold the key. Now we go decide whether Cameroon get chop for chop or not. Now we go decide a cup of Gary for La République. Now we go decide a cup of granite for Cameroon. Now we go decide how much banana will cost for Cameroon. Now we go decide how much, whether Cameroon, whether Igbo, whether cocoa rich for Cameroon, whether cassava rich for Cameroon, whether jamajama go for Cameroon, whether plantain enter for Cameroon, whether rice enter for Cameroon. Now we, the Ambazonian people, go decide. Now we hold the key to Cameroon's economy. So how this conflict end, how this conflict go, and it end, now we hold the key. Because the war, they fight on our territory, the war, they declare on our territory. Whatever we do for our territory, that one our damn business. Now we get the right for do anything and everything we must do them for free our people. With that in mind, we must understand Cameroon, Paul Biya, not been the administer the occupation of Ambazonia. Not been a Diongute Diop administer Cameroon's occupation of Ambazonia. Cameroon, it don't recruit, it don't bribe, it don't corrupt, it don't pay agents, whether they call them colonial administrators. In the name of senators, in the name of parliamentarians, in the name of government delegates, in the name of DOs, in the name of SDOs, in the name of mayors, and in the name of councillors. Now these people, they keep you under occupation. Now these people, they be responsible for implement the occupiers' occupation governance policies. Without these middlemen, Without the colonial occupation administrators, occupation no go dey. Now then they tell the military who for kill, who for rape, which house for burn am, which village for burn am. The Cameroon's occupation military, they did it now for protect Cameroon institutions of occupation and for protect the administrators of the occupation when then they manage those institutions of occupation. So without these middlemen, the occupation no go exist. These middlemen and women, for them for continue for enjoy the benefits of the occupation as beneficiaries of the occupation. That's why they give instructions for kill you, kill your family, kill what people them, rape what picking them, kill what picking them, kill what mommy them, kill what papa them, as the case of Mamfe, as the case of Akwaya, as the case for all across Ambazonia, as the case for picking them for Kumba, as the case for Ngabu, as the case for baby Karo, as the case for baby Mata, as the case for Samsoya, as the case for Mancho BBC. Now these people, they give information to the Cameroon occupation government, saying that the one this way they over straw head. Now the one this way it influence the other one them. Now then they provide that intelligence. Now they provide the information for maintain their benefits of the occupation, for maintain their elitism, for maintain their power, for maintain their wealth, for maintain their control, for maintain their fame. So they send what picking them, they send what papa them, they give instructions to the occupier as to which man picking, which woman, which brother, which sister, the occupying terrorist, military, police, and gendarme, they need for arrest them for movie, so that making the influence the other one them. That's why Mancho BBC there for jail. Now the colonial senators, now the colonial parliamentarians, now the colonial SDOs, now the colonial DOs, now the colonial government delegates, now the colonial mayors, now the colonial councillors, they provide the information to the occupying military for do the arrest. Every time they enter for a quarter, they do kale. Now a government delegate, now a mayor, now an SDO, now a DO, now a councillor, now a parliamentarian, now a colonial senator, he don't give that order for them for go for that quarter, for go arrest the people them, torture the people them, beat the people them, steal from the people, extort from the people, and carry some of the people them, go lock them for prison. Now these middlemen and middle women, they be responsible for your pain. They be responsible for your suffering. They be responsible for the rape. They be responsible for the death. They be responsible for the imprisonment. Now these middlemen and middle women, in the name of senators, in the name of parliamentarians, in the name of government delegates, in the name of SDOs, in the name of DOs, in the name of mayors, in the name of councillors. Now then they be responsible for the Cameroon's atrocities for Ambazonia. Now then they be responsible for Cameroon's crimes against humanity. Now then they be responsible for Cameroon crimes against the Ambazonian people then. Now then they be responsible for the killing of baby Karo, they be responsible for the killing of baby Mata. Now then they be responsible, that then they give the intelligence, that then they provide the information, that then they point the house for Ngabu for kill what picking them, kill what mommy them, even the one where they be pregnant. Now these middlemen and middle women, they be responsible for all the homes for Ambazonia where they don't be burnt. That they be responsible for the massacre for inside Mamfe. That they be responsible for the massacre for Egbeko and for newly out Egbeko. Now then they point the house then. Now then they recruit the fake Ambazonian fighters, would they be controlled by the bees? And with the help of the bees, they do what they do for people then. Because they want ministerial positions. Because they want tell Paul Biya say, they know how to be wicked. They know how to teach the occupying people a lesson. And they must bring the occupying people under submission by committing massacres for terrorize the people enough into submission so that they go make the ministers, so that they go make the mayors, so that they go channel millions and millions and millions and millions and millions as transaction fees for their wickedness. For the Ambazonian people, for be free. First, the Ambazonian people, where every Ambazonian is a victim, they must hold these colonial senators, colonial parliamentarians, colonial government delegates, colonial SDOs, colonial DOs, colonial councillors, and colonial governors responsible. We must hold them accountable for all the pain where the Ambazonian people don't go through. These people must pay the price. These people, they must pay the price for Cameroon, the occupation of Ambazonia. These people, we must hold these people responsible and accountable for Cameroon presence for the Ambazonian territory. Now the only way that we Cameroon go take Ambazonian serious, now the only way that we Cameroon go feel the pain, now the only way that we Cameroon go know say the end don't come. When Cameroon woke up for morning time, he realized and say, they are middlemen where they be responsible for administering and governing the occupation. Where they be responsible for the massacres. Where not them, they directly give orders for the massacres, for the killing, for the raping, for the destruction of the Ambazonian people them, for the displacement of the Ambazonian people them. Once they woke up for morning time, they realize and say the Ambazonian people, they don't carry out natural justice because revenge is a form of justice. In the absence of international mediation and negotiation for end the conflict and for hold Cameroon accountable, revenge is a form of justice. And the Ambazonian people, they reserve the right for exact justice on the people to be responsible for Cameroon's occupation of Ambazonia. For the people to be responsible for the give orders, for administer the massacres, for administer the genocide, for administer the burnings of homes, for administer the arrest of Ambazonians. Ayok Tabe Julius, Tassan Wilfred, Shufai, Panfon Galanfo, they not did prison not because they commit any crime. They did prison not because the colonial senators, the colonial parliamentarians, the colonial SDOs, the colonial DOs, the colonial government delegates, the colonial councillors, they tell the Cameroon, they give instructions, they give intelligence to the Cameroon occupying government. Say, if you go after their yoke, now then they be the figurehead. Now then they motivate and tell the people them what to do. So take them out. It will reduce the resistance. Now them they gather intelligence and give instructions to the Cameroon intelligence before they carry out this action. So Ayoktabe Julius, they for prison since 2018. With the thousands of Ambazonians they for prison for all these years. Not because of the colonial councillors, not because of the colonial mayors, not because of the colonial government delegates, not because of the colonial DOs and SDOs. Mancho BBC they for prison, not because of these people there. Perpetrators they for prison, not because of people them like Regina Mundi. Not because of them. Because they realize and say, people like Mancho BBC, they don't become the voice of the people. So people like Regina Mundi and her kind, people like Tabetando and his kind, they realize and say they go lost power. That's why they give instructions for Mancho BBC to be picked up, for Perpetrators to be picked up, for Shufai to be picked up, for Benji to be picked up. Now then they give instructions for baby Caro to be killed, for baby Mata to be killed, as a collective punishment for the people they don't rise up, for can't take power from them. That's why the Ambazonian people must hold all these people responsible and accountable, and must go after each and every one of them for the pain they don't cause among the Ambazonian people, for the crimes they don't commit among the Ambazonian people. Why Regina Mundi did live for a luxury home? Siseko Ayoktabe did stay for prison. Why Regina Mundi did for outside? Mancho BBC did for prison. Why Regina Mundi did for outside? Baby Caro did 6 feet under the ground. Now why Regina Mundi did for outside? Baby Mata did 6 feet under the ground. Now why Regina Mundi did for outside? Live a free life. Live for luxury homes. Mami Apidi become arches. Samson have become blood. Now why the colonial councillors they still live for inside the Ambazonian state? Work inside Ambazonia. Chop inside Ambazonia. Sleep inside Ambazonia. While Ivo don't die. While No Pity don't die. While Aruke don't die. Why the piggy from Gabu don't die? Why the pregnant mommy from Gabu don't die? Why do you get 400 something thousand Ambazonians? They stay, they sleep for floor, they starved, they don't get place to sleep, they be hopeless, they be misery, they be sick as refugees. Why the colonial recruited, bribed, corrupted, and bought councillors and their government delegates? They live inside the Ambazonia territory. And you get more than 7,000 Ambazonians that they suffer for prison. And you get 750,000 Ambazonians where they don't get homes. They don't stay for bush for more than 7 years. Ambazonians, for we for end this genocide, For we for end this pain and suffering, this homelessness, this destruction of our people then. We must hold the colonial councillors, the colonial mayors, the colonial government delegates, the colonial DOs, the colonial SDOs, the colonial senators, and the colonial parliamentarians responsible. And the people this will be in charge. And the people this will be the reason why you be a victim. Why you be under occupation. Why you not fit breathe. Why you not get water for drink. Why you be so rich. Why they born you for such a rich country with rich natural resources and wealth, but you be an occupied person. But you not get a home to stay because they invite their terrorist bees and they can burn your house, but they can't destroy your business. We must hold these people responsible. We must hold these people accountable. In the absence of Cameroun for commit for an incredible international negotiation for end this conflict, we must take justice to the people that be responsible for the crimes on the Ambazonian people. We must take revenge and seek each and every one of them out and hold them accountable for the pain we don't cause for the Ambazonian people. Not only we give ourselves dignity, not only we give ourselves the human dignity we will deserve them. Not only we give ourselves freedom. Not only we end this pain, this misery, we end them. We got about 6 more weeks for the year to come to an end. Now a long time for clean Ambazonia from these middlemen and these middlewomen. For chase them out of our land and for send them into exile to Cameroun. Time for them for pack out of Ambazonia or face justice don't come. Time for them for resign from the CPDM fascist government and take their hand for up and denounce Cameroon's occupation and the genocide and the massacres don't reach. We not surrender on ourselves, we not run into Cameroon, or we not face justice. The time for hunt them, it don't come. We change the war from fighting the military for now hunt the perpetrators will be responsible for the carnage with the Ambazonian people don't hold on. We must preserve the Ambazonian people them. We must give our people them the life where they deserve them. We must reclaim our people their dignity and their well-being. We must end Cameroon a presence for our land. For Cameroon a failure for commit for international negotiation, a leave for the international community, a failure for take action, a leave the Ambazonian people them with no choice than for pursue natural justice, than for hold these people accountable. At the time this way, we'll go keep the military aside. We go continue for monitor, protect ourselves against their invasion, but now we go now after the people to be directly responsible for the pain with the Ambazonian people they face them. The councillors, the mayors, the colonial government delegates, the colonial SDOs, the colonial DOs, the colonial administrators, the Ambazonian people them. the victim zone I don't create them. They come after una. There is no place for hide for the wicked. The war, it don't change. In 6 weeks, the entire territory will be turned upside down. In 6 weeks, we end Cameroon the occupation. In 6 weeks, we end Cameroon the presence of our territory. In 6 weeks, Cameroon will pack out of our territory. Now is the time for focus on the perpetrators of genocides, of ethnic cleansing, of scorched earth policy, of perpetrators of rape, and the one that will be responsible for sending our people them when they become homeless. The one that will they burn all house them, and they time this for take the war to them. My message this for now. Happy Country Sunday.
Ambazonia Defense Forces, the vanguards of the Ambazonia War of Independence.
When you look at the pictures on the left, you see Siseko, Ayuk, Tabe, and others. We have more than 3,000 Ambazonians locked up in the prisons of Cameroon. The shame of Africa is not only because we sat and watched our heroes murdered, it's because we collaborated with those who kill our own warriors, the Thomas Sankaras, the Patrice Lumumbas. And that Nigeria could collaborate with the tyranny of Cameroon to kidnap our own leaders, transport them to Yaoundé, kept them incommunicado for more than a year, tortured them psychologically, brought a lot of pain on their family, put them through a kangaroo trial in the night, sentenced them to life in jail. It's a slap on the face of every living Ambazonian. That is why we have said we must match Cameroon method for method. Fight them in every inch of our homeland, because they don't understand dialogue. They don't understand negotiations, because the weapons they deploy in the occupation of our homeland is that of brute force. In the past years, we put in place a well-refined strategy because we realized occupation was predicated on political governance without your consent. We realized occupation was predicated on economic exploitation. That is why we taught our defense forces to shatter the myth around Cameroon's invincibility, because Cameroon believed it was powerful to subdue us for more than 50 years, and it will be able to subdue us for the next 50 years. We shattered their invincibility when they declared war on us. We took the war to them. We fought them block by block, inch by inch, rooftop by rooftop, backside by backside. We made them to understand this generation is not the generation you can mess up with. That we have studied the occupier and we understand them. And we aren't gonna blink until the last forces of Cameroon are bundled out of our homeland. And we aren't gonna forgive and forget. We aren't gonna forgive and forget. There will be accountability, and we will hold all those murderers and rapists and bring them to justice. And I have made a solemn promise to our people. Even if Mr. Biya dies, we will search for his grave, exhume his body, bring his bones to our court, and try him for murder and genocide against our people. This is not the generation that will forgive and forget. All of our resources that have been stolen, we will search for them and bring them back in our homeland to give our people a fair shot in this world.
Ambazonia Defense Forces, the vanguards of the Ambazonia War of Independence. Welcome to ACN.